Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to the Nathan Newberry Scale with Live. Today we're going to do another audit, and today we're going to do an audit for a real estate broker. And we're going to look through all of his source rules, look at some frameworks, different ways for you to really take this and apply it to your own business, your own personal business, to really help you out as much as you possibly can. We're here to do this and go over as many times as we possibly can to help you out with everything. As I'm diving in here, what I want you to check out here as I'm sharing my screen here is I want to show you this. So I help founders set up a winning offer, compelling content, and converting ads with your own sales team in 4 weeks, really fast. So if you want to have a business that's growing off without you, this is what I do to help. So if you're a faith-driven founder, 6 and 7 figure CEO, personal brand builder, maybe you're burnt out and you're more wanting to be a mission driven. If you're starting or scaling, I got you today. We're going to go over how to grow your online authority. And we're going to be doing an audit today on doing scaling with everything. But before we do, I just want to give you a quick synopsis of who I am and what I'm all about and how I'm helping you. I was a Christian pastor for years. I've been married, have a bunch of kids. And now what I do after doing ministry is I ran a marketing agency for 9 years and then sold that. And then I got into sales and I did really well because I cared for people. What a thought. And then people asked me, hey, what was I doing? And I started training people more and more how to do sales and marketing. And then I started managing sales teams where we're doing millions a month. And now I teach people online how to grow an authority online, how to connect the dots with getting consistency and leads with their product or service or consulting business. And we help them with building a sales and media team so that you can buy back your time and have freedom in life and time and money and impact with everything. And so that's what I do throughout what I do with everything. But today I'm going to go over some tactics with everything, but I want to dive in and we're going to do an audit with a real estate broker. Today, I just pulled up someone that's following me. Okay. On my account on Instagram here, I literally just went up and followed someone that's on my followers, and I found Ruben today. And Ruben, we're going to check you out and your content. Hopefully this is helpful for you and everybody that's listening in here. I'm going to just start with Instagram, look at some other accounts and some different things on the website and cadence and context of everything that you're doing so that it can help you and other real estate people as well. But talking about Ruben here, looking at his photos here, this is a good professional shot. Like, this looks good. If I was in real estate, I'd probably have sort of a suit on too to show, hey, I mean business. Right out the gate here, it looks like he has his name, which is good. But he also says he's a real estate investor, broker, builder. I think that's clear. Like, that's good. Like, sometimes people don't say that. That's good. He's a CEO of it. So he's not just a, broker in it. He states the company he's a part of. He's a broker in it. Action leads to motivation. That's what he lives by. 100% comfortable being uncomfortable. Those are good things. Maybe what I would do on these things is I would probably clarify where you're at, right? Maybe where you based out of. Like, if I'm looking at your website here, which is a cool website here, but if I scroll to the very bottom, I know that you're in Connecticut. Okay. And so I would probably state that in your Instagram account, like I serve people in Connecticut and the surrounding areas, maybe like New York or whatever that's in driving distance if you had that. And then probably I would say something in terms of like a checklist. Like, if I'm trying to get more leads and more revenue from clients, I'd say, something about like a 10-step guide to, curb appeal if you want to sell your home in 30 days. Or, 10-step guide to, before you, invest in property to save you tens of thousands of dollars. I don't know, like some lead magnet that you would call attention to. Maybe even like an acumen around, because this is like a given, right? Like a CEO/broker at maybe those properties, right? Or a golden estates or something like that, where it's like you're including both of those because it's kind of a given if you're a CEO with those. Maybe this is like a management company and then realty, something like that. I try to combine it somehow because maybe it could say Golden, management and realty or something. You're already kind of saying it here, but you want to kind of like we only have 150 characters, right? And so on these character spots, like we need to make sure that these are dialed in, and then I would have like some clout around you of like I have been serving Connecticut in real estate for 10 years, 20 years, sold millions of dollars of homes, like talk about the revenue of that, right? And then give some lead magnet that they can go to rather than just the website. And then we don't see any highlights here at the top. We have one pin post, but it's about fitness stuff, which is like a good commitment because I'm seeing right here it's like 5 a.m. Like he's a diligent guy, but like I do some highlights around like walkthroughs or like the clients that you've sold houses to or the type of houses in Connecticut. Like maybe do a walk home or walk through and like talk about like, hey, I talked with Susie and John, and we got him into their house within 30 days, or we sold their property, 10x more than what they thought they would have it or something like that, where it's like, it's really good testimonials. Start here about who you are, why they should choose you as a broker or a property manager. Like those are good things probably to have in highlights and stories, or even if you had those stories and it was like a carousel, right? Like even just like pictures of stuff, that would be really helpful. And then you want pinned posts around it. So you have 3 pinned posts here. And then even on Reels, you have other 4 options to pin post here. So like for if I was him, maybe you would have like one about like having, be realtor, whatever you want more leads with, that's what you would like start out with. If it's more like leads for high value executives, next one would be property management. And then the next one would be like somewhat of like your guarantee or like a builder. If you're a builder, maybe in your investment properties or something. So when people come here, they kind of know what you do, how you serve people. And then you want to like when you're building content, like this is cool with like family stuff, but I would lead probably with value of like, if this is the type of homes you're doing, like you work with that, that's great. But like, be clear, like if this is more like luxury type of homes, that's what you want to focus on of like what you do and what kind of properties and people you're going to attract. That would be cool. Like if you created a bunch of different, like a few different content around something that you're selling right here, like that'd be pretty cool. Like the value of like 10-step things or these are the things that I'd look at before you purchase a property. Like give a value. And let's look at like the cadence here. So we posted this 5 days ago. The pin post that you had was 1 day ago. Okay. So 1 day, 5 days, 1 week, 4 weeks. So there's no consistency last, so it's 50 weeks. Okay. So we just started back doing some real estate or content. That's good, but we needed like daily content. And then I don't see any stories from you, Ruben. But let's move to, LinkedIn here. Looks like we just started this on, oh, look, New York. So there's a disconnect some and another of like the surrounding reasons or regions of like what you would serve. So you want to make that really clear on the locations that you serve at. Same thing here. It's like when you look at like configuring your LinkedIn accounts, like you want a good banner, like listing out who you help and how you help them. And then you have like a way to do a manager, like, but you also do real estate and you're a builder, I think, right? And then contact information, you want it to be clear of like how people can get to you. So if it's a phone call, like have it a freaking phone call, like have that ready. And then you want it, there's a feature here for about, and that about is kind of like your selling proposition that you need to have. And you can have ChatGPT help you with some of that stuff, but you need to have an about feature there. And then the activity, it looks like we kind of started doing this like a week ago. New Haven Property Management, that's a different link altogether. And then what your experience is. And I did see something about like your degree here. Um, I think this is yours, Ruben. Yeah, I mean, Bachelor of Science, like that's in business. It looks like or Jack Welch College of Business, like that's really good stuff. You should feature that more on like your experience around like your pedigree. Like I think that gives you some clout around it. Let's look at Facebook here. So he has a little bit bigger of a following here on Facebook, Golding Property Solutions. I think this is his, property. So he says it again right here. So it's unification here, which is good. I would, instead of saying this quote, even though you stand by this, I would state like the surrounding areas you support. That would probably be a good one. Um, and then kind of look at some of these different things. Owner at Golden Havens, like it's another property management company. I think it's just sort of confusing when we list out too many things and we're not clear on what that looks like. We have linked to your Instagram. I looked at TikTok. There wasn't much here though, like when we're looking at a few things. So that needs to be, increased quite a bit there. And then there's just too many links. I would try to focus maybe on one for yourself of like who you help. Like it'd be just around you, and then a clear call to action. So if we're looking at like Donald Miller's, full whole philosophy around websites, it needs to be really clear. Like people look at the top left and they go to the top right. So this needs to be a button, if that's what you want, or to search homes and have one like to call you. So if you want more calls or things like that, you want to kind of present that. It looks like those links are good. Most of the time I hover over things and they don't have links at the bottom left here, like hyperlinked, because that's good. So you're using a search engine on your website. It looks like what's the builder on this? So it's a WordPress website. Yeah, they have a bunch of different templates on this. It's not always easy to manage on it, but here's the locations. Like these are the things you gotta like predominantly say their surrounding areas. Testimonials are good. Those are things that you want to feature on your content. Looks like we have a blog, a contact. So ultimately, it's not going to be about you, Ruben. Like if you're wanting to build more team and a recruitment of stuff, we need to probably present it not about you, but like them, the client. So it looks like we got two people here on the team. I would talk about that a little bit more. Here's the property solutions, cool website again, but it just kind of states the same thing. So yeah, for you, Ruben, like this is what I would focus on is just like daily content. And then optimize your channel there, a few different things there. Like once you have a winning offer and clarity, I think it could be distracting. I know there's a big overlap, but what you want to look at is like some content around like health, wealth, and relationship and your offer that positions people with, the relationships being in a home, wealth that they can save, right? The health when they're around in a good environment and the kids are in a good environment. Like you can craft a different way of health, wealth, and relationship and content and your positioning of your offer. And then it all comes down to tactics, right? It's like what you want to do is be able to run ads efficiently in those locations, but you need to target those locations and then get on stages in those areas, be in podcasts or create your own podcast that brings more eyeballs and awareness to your local market that you serve. And then you show a lot of value and nurture them through daily stories, daily reels, YouTube content, podcasts, lead magnets, emails. And these are systems, right? Once you build the systems, then you can build the team that manages them. So like when I work in my business, I only work like 4 to 6 hours a week on my business and a little bit on in it, like doing these lives and content and stuff. So it doesn't need to be over like a lot of type of work. And then that's going to create more value and sales with driving more traffic to you and more people that are going to DM you. And so those are the call to action strategies that you want to look at that drive more conversations, that drive more leads. If you want more things that are going to help you with this, what I would suggest is like it down in the DMs, in Instagram right now, you can DM me the word school. I have a free school group that I'm giving everybody right now that has a lot of value in it of how to build your online presence. The other thing that would probably be helpful is I have a free workshop that goes over more of these slides and depths of the full strategy that's going to help you outline success on your online profile. And so if you're a real estate broker, faith-driven entrepreneur, CEO that's really wanting to build online, hopefully this is a helpful video for you today. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, Tim, like everywhere that this is streamed. Make sure that you're engaging before you leave this video so that you're getting a lot more value from me and all the different platforms that we're at here. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next live.